These proceedings are called to order.
Chairman Goddard, trustees of Emory University, distinguished guests, Emory alumni, faculty and staff, family, and friends of our graduates, it's my honor to welcome you to Emory's 177th commencement. Now, for all our guests and families and friends that are here today, before we go any further, I'd like all in attendance, if you're able, to stand up and turn to our graduates right here in the middle of the quad and give them a huge round of applause for all that they've achieved. All right, thank you, and please be seated. Now, to our graduates, please stand and give a big round of applause to your parents, your grandparents, your partners, your family, your children and friends, all those who have supported you to this graduation day. Thank you. All right, what a wonderful day. And finally, because yesterday was Mother's Day, a special round of applause for all the mothers who are here celebrating their Emory graduates. And now I ask everybody to please rise for the national anthem performed by the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra Brass Quintet. Now please be seated for the invocation by Reverend Dr. Gregory McGonigal, Dean of Religious Life and University Chaplain.
Thank you, Mr. President. Friends, we come together this morning from many different backgrounds. Would you please join me in a spirit of prayer, meditation, or contemplation, each in your own way, as we begin this celebration? Spirit of creativity and wonder, curiosity and questioning that invites us on the academic journey, be with us this morning as we celebrate the achievements of the class of 2022. We acknowledge this sacred place has been one of learning for ages, and we recall our foundational mission as Emory University to teach knowledge in service of humanity. We gather this morning with joy because in our graduates, our mission is fulfilled. And today we celebrate their accomplishments and the opening of a new chapter in their lives as beloved alumni. We gather with gratitude for all who have made their journeys possible, family and friends, teachers and mentors. We give thanks for trustees and benefactors, faculty and staff, even all those who have set up all these many, many chairs for us this morning. We are truly interdependent on one another. We also remember all those not here with us in body this morning, but who are in our minds, ancestors, grandparents, parents, other relatives, even members of our own Emory family we have lost since commencement last year. They are here in our hearts, in our celebration. This morning we call to mind all of creation that it is our mission to serve. We are aware of the parts of this world and our country that are in need of the knowledge and skills these graduates will bring. Therefore, we gather with hope for the ways that these graduates will advance truth and compassion, justice and healing, well-being and sustainability in our world. We look forward this morning to hearing words from a leader in the arts and entertainment, a humanitarian who through drama helps us to see our strengths and the places we have room to grow. May our minds be open to the wisdom he has to share with us. The symbol of the city of Atlanta, our home, is that of a phoenix rising from the ashes. It has witnessed the phoenix rise time and again in visions of liberation through which it has inspired the world. Today we pray that we are rising out of the ashes of a time of pandemic, a time of glaring racism and injustice, a time of division and distancing. We gather this morning to affirm that the phoenix is rising again. It rises in each and every one of these graduates that we send forth into the world today. And so we gather with joy, with gratitude, and with hope for all the ways that these phoenixes, these eagles, will spread their wings and fly. To that and to the prayers in each of our hearts this morning, let us say, Amen. Peace and congratulations, class of 2022.
Looking out at the quad today, I can't help but think about how far this community has come. Now, much has been said about the past 2 years, the adversity we have faced in the world darkened by pandemic and crisis. But the fact remains, no matter the challenges, no matter the circumstances, no matter what was asked of them, these graduates held fast to their dreams and goals and did what they set out to do. They learned, they discovered, they found joy and purpose. They made friendships that will stand the test of time. And they set an example for future Emory students by showing, quite literally, that they can overcome anything. And I want to thank our Emory faculty and staff who were there for our students every step of the way, teaching, mentoring, and giving of themselves so that our students, our graduates this morning, could flourish. To all the faculty and the staff of Emory University, class of 2022, you have created a legacy on this campus that will last for many years to come. And now, as you prepare for your new journeys, your new careers, new adventures, new opportunities, I encourage you, our graduates, to draw strength from your accomplishments at Emory. Hold on to those lessons you've learned here. Find meaning and power in them because although these have been unprecedented times, your life, every moment of it, is unprecedented too, which means that your future will be defined by singular and often unexpected events. And everything that was required of you during these past 2 years especially, the adaptations, the adjustments, the changes, the agility, the time, the effort, and the dedication, you will need all of it, all of the skills that you have honed here. As Emory graduates, you can proceed with confidence, knowing that you have everything you need, the ability, the knowledge, the strength within you to flourish and to live and achieve with both ambition and heart. The genius of soul, Georgia's own Ray Charles, once said, "Dreams, if they're any good, are always a little crazy." And I think what he's saying is that to other people, those who don't know what you are capable of, your dreams and goals, if they're big enough, might sound too ambitious, too bold, impossible to attain. But take a look around you. It's clear there's no limit to what you can accomplish. You've already made one dream real today, and I can't wait to see you make many more of them in your years to come. Now, as you go from student to alum, you will join a community of over 150,000 Emory alumni in the United States and throughout the world. And together, you will sustain your connection with this great university that will continue for the rest of your lives. And today, we welcome a special group of those alumni who embody that profound connection to this university. The Society of Corpus Cordis Aureum, Latin for Golden Core of the Heart. These alumni in their gold robes are members of the 50th reunion class, as well as classes that graduated from Emory prior to 1972. And right now, I ask the Society of Corpus Cordis Aureum, please stand so that we may recognize you. Thank you, and it's great to have you back on campus. Now, for many years at Emory, we have not had a student speaker as part of our commencement program. That changes today. And it is now my privilege to introduce Emory's inaugural student speaker, Rachel Ding. Rachel started out at Emory on our Oxford campus, rising to take on a double major in finance and international studies, having prestigious internships along the way, yet never forgetting the importance of the student experience and the early friendships she made at Oxford. These things led her to serve as president of Student Government Association at Oxford, Speaker of the Legislature, and during this past year, SGA president, where I got to know her and see her leadership and her compassion for her fellow students in action. Please give a warm welcome for Rachel Ding.
Well, thank you, President Fenves. Welcome and happy morning. Classmates, families, friends, faculty, and distinguished guests. Congratulations to my fellow graduates. We finally made it. You know, when President Fenves first informed me that I would be the first ever student commencement speaker, I never imagined that I might be the first unemployed student speaker. But don't worry, Mom and Dad, I have some plans in the works. First, I want to say something to Tyler Perry. Shortly after you were announced, my friends and I may or may not have looked up your house on YouTube. I know you own like half of Atlanta, but does your driveway really need to be that long? With that being said, if you're looking to hire any fresh graduates of the university that just awarded you an honorary degree, just have your people call my people. Hai内存记自己天涯若比邻. Distance can never break a true friendship, no matter how far away we are. This Chinese proverb is from a Tang Dynasty poem and has a special meaning to me. Over 1,000 years ago, ancient China had no phones, and the postal system was only used for governmental affairs. So common people couldn't communicate with each other if they were separated by distance, They relied on the traditional way, on the power of human connection to hold each other close. Who would have thought a millennium later, we would experience the same thing in a millennium pandemic? When COVID-19 put us through its arduous trial, we were suddenly ripped apart from everything, separate and alone from our classmates, our friends, and our school. But because of the special memories we've created at Emory, a world apart couldn't separate us. This proverb describes how my ancestors valued friendship. They made their friends like their family, because family never truly leaves. And this encompasses how I view Emory. When we leave the quad today, we will disperse in 1,000 different ways. And we will no longer experience, as students, the taste of Emory dining, the traffic on Clifton Road, or even the annual SGA election scandal. However, the collective memories we share connect us in a deeply primal way. So, although we'll be far away from each other, we might still feel like neighbors, all connected by Emory. The world is a little place, after all. We've done incredible things here, and I could definitely go past the 5-minute time slot I was given, talking about all the accomplishments of my classmates, but it boils down to this. We came to college at a critical point in the story of our human existence. Many of you, some that I know personally, will literally change the world. Emory students will discover the cure, start the movement, and find the solution. Unknown hardships, joyous moments of life, and challenges of fate lie ahead of us. But I believe true friends, no matter how far they are, will be able to fill your spirit and help you persevere. Lastly, I thank each individual who has helped the class of 2022. Our ability to celebrate this moment is thanks to our parents, thanks to our mentors and professors, and thank you to those who are not present today, the hardworking employees and staff who cared for us like they cared for their own families these past 4 years. It's always hard to say goodbye. We've discovered so much together, and now we will discover apart for a while, knowing that when we reconnect, our bond will be so much stronger. So this isn't goodbye, it's just see you later. May we celebrate the end of our journey here and mark the beginning of our Emory family. Cheers, and welcome to the family, everyone.
Well, thank you, Rachel, and what an honor to have you as our inaugural student speaker today. Now, in a moment, we will present 3 university-wide honors that showcase the high level of achievement of our outstanding students and faculty. The Mary and Luther Britton Service Award is an expression of gratitude to students who have dedicated themselves to serving others without expectation of reward or recognition. To present these awards, I call on Senior Vice President and Dean of Campus Life, the incomparable Inku Galai.
Thank you, Mr. President. A great boss to have, by the way, y'all. It gives me great pleasure to present Stephanie Zhang with the Undergraduate Britton Award, the university's highest student honor. Would Stephanie's family please stand to be recognized with her? Stephanie's superpower has been creating deeper belonging for Asian American students and broader understanding of their needs. As a co-president of the Asian Pacific Islander Desi American activist, Stephanie fostered courageous conversations with the community and also founded a chapter at the Oxford campus. Her efforts were instrumental in establishing the Asian Student Center and the first staff position for PETA initiatives. At the Center for Women, Stephanie helped organize GirlCon, an annual event featuring girls' empowerment workshops. Committed to eradicating voter suppression, Stephanie registered voters on campus and in the larger PETA community. As a Humanity in Action Fellow, Stephanie developed political engagement initiatives for high school students. An important marker of the legacy she leaves is that Stephanie was named a Newman Civic Fellow, an honor extended to students who are change makers on their campuses. Congratulations, Stephanie. I'm going to ask me and Gwen to come to the podium. Would Mee's family please stand to be recognized with her? It gives me great pleasure to also present the Graduate 2022 Marion Luther Britton Service Award to Mee Gwen. At Rollins School of Public Health, you led your department's climate survey, increasing access to mental health services. As co-president of Students for Social Justice, you linked students to vital resources once the pandemic eased and they returned to campus. For the Office of Racial and Cultural Engagement, you developed programming centered on the mental health of Asian American students. You also were an advisor in the creation of the Asian Student Center. But you didn't limit your generosity to Emory. Your thesis on COVID-19 related discrimination and mental health among Vietnamese in the United States has sparked great scholarly interest. You worked with the Refugee Family Assistance Program and interned at the CDC, creating training materials on intersectionality and implicit bias. Promoting equity is what drives you, and the positive impact of that on so many programs and people is uncontested. Inspiring our deep gratitude. Thank you and congratulations, Mee.
The Exemplary Teacher Award celebrates the accomplishments and life-changing impact of a member of the Emory University faculty. To present this award, I call on the Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and our Provost, Ravi Bellamkonda. As Provost Bellamkonda comes forward, will the previous recipients of this honor please stand to be recognized?
Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to present the 2022 Exemplary Teacher Award to Jennifer Ayers. Since joining the faculty of the Candler School of Theology in 2011, Jennifer has distinguished herself as a creative, accomplished, and empathetic teacher. She's a champion of inclusive education who introduces students to a deliberately broad range of voices while helping them use their own diverse backgrounds to strengthen their contributions as leaders and educators. Believing in shared pedagogy, Jennifer structures classes so that students learn not just from her, but from one another. In fostering authentic and difficult conversations, she makes dialogue come alive, even in the virtual space. In 2018, Jennifer began guiding an initiative to help mid-career faculty build community and productively balance their teaching and their scholarship. She has also led in redesigning the Candler curriculum and often hosts pedagogy workshops for faculty and graduate students, thus sharing and multiplying her gifts as a teacher. In the words of Dean Jan Love, it is hard to imagine Candler functioning without Dr. Ayer's deep engagement and wise counsel. Congratulations, Jennifer.
The Thomas Jefferson Award is Emory's premier recognition for service to the university by a member of the faculty or the administration. To present this award, I call on Vice President and Secretary of the University, Allison Dykes. And as Vice President Dykes comes forward, will the previous recipients of the Thomas Jefferson Award please stand to be recognized?
Thank you, Mr. President. It gives me great pleasure to present the 2022 Thomas Jefferson Award to Jeffrey Rosenzweig. Since 1988, Jeffrey has brought enormous distinction to Goizueta Business School as a researcher and teacher. He is an expert in international business and finance, and his passion is helping others gain economic and educational empowerment. He has been equally effective across the university as a senior faculty fellow at the Center for Ethics, which he co-founded, and as the inaugurator and yearly MC for Emory's Veteran Day commemoration. Helping establish the Emory Veterans Association and the Black MBA Association, he still serves as their faculty advisor. Jeffrey was selected by the Wall Street Journal as one of 12 favorite professors in all executive MBA programs worldwide. Roberto S. Goizueta, the son of our namesake, says of Jeffrey, quote, "He has fostered a global vision at the business school. Together with his integrity and values, he embodies everything my father valued most in higher education." Jeff, please accept this award with our deep congratulations.
And now it is my privilege to welcome Bob Goddard, Chair of the Emory University Board of Trustees, to authorize the conferral of degrees.
Good morning. President Fenves, esteemed members of the university faculty, and distinguished guests. On behalf of the trustees of Emory University, I take great pleasure in accepting the recommendations of the President and the faculties of Emory University. Mr. President, as Chair of the Board of Trustees, I authorize you to confer degrees upon the 2022 graduates, together with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. Thank you, Chairman Goddard. This morning, we are fortunate to have on this platform 3 guests who have distinguished themselves in the areas of healthcare, philanthropy, the creative arts, law, and civic leadership. They are here to receive Emory's highest honor, the doctoral degree honoris causa. Dean Vikas Sukhatme of the Emory School of Medicine, will you present our first honored guest?
President Fenves, I have the honor to place the name of Louise Glenn in candidacy to receive the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
It is my privilege to award Louise R. Glenn an honorary doctorate of humane letters. Emory and Georgia are better for the tireless service of Mrs. Glenn. A founding trustee of the Wilbur and Hilda Glenn Family Foundation, Mrs. Glenn supports work in civil and human rights, health, and wellness. She is a person of deep empathy and resourcefulness. In 2013, Mrs. Glenn and the foundation established the Glenn Family Breast Center at our Winship Cancer Institute, as well as the Louisa and Rand Glenn Family Chair in Breast Cancer Research. Mrs. Glenn and her family were inspired to give to Winship because of the care provided in 2003 for their daughter, Louisa. Mrs. Glenn's investment have helped patients and families battling cancer. She's given the gift of hope and transformed lives. Lou, for all you've been contributing to the well-being of Georgians, I offer my deepest thanks, and it's an honor to confer on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations. Vice Dean Joanna Shepard from the Law School, will you present our second honored guest?
President Fenves, I have the honor to present Sally Yates to receive the degree of Doctor of Laws.
It is my privilege to award Sally Q. Yates an honorary Doctor of Laws degree. Mrs. Yates, what you have accomplished as a leader in the legal profession in your many years of service to our nation, rising to the level of acting U.S. Attorney General of the United States, is absolutely remarkable. Along the way, you became the first woman to serve as the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia, prosecuting matters such as corporate fraud, cybercrime, gang violence, and financial crime. And you also led criminal justice reform and prison reform measures. You always held fast to the rule of law, no matter the pressures upon you, and you courageously reminded us of the promise of equality upon which our justice system is based. For your dedicated service, I offer my deepest thanks, and it is my honor to confer on you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations. Dean Michael Elliott from the Emory College of Arts and Sciences, will you present our third honored guest? And Tyler Perry, would you join me at the lectern?
President Fenves, I have the distinct honor to present to you Tyler Perry as a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Letters.
It is my pleasure to award Tyler Perry an honorary Doctor of Letters degree from Emory University. Mr. Perry has built a career in the entertainment industry unlike any other in American history. Every step of the way, he has shown resolve and a deep commitment to creative expression while making millions laugh, think, reflect, and wonder, captivated by his many films, plays, and programs. His gift for storytelling extends to every genre and platform. Medea, first and foremost, but of all of his characters, in their depth and their resonance, have the ability to transfix, entertain, and inspire. As his fame grew, Tyler Perry's impact on his community grew right along with it. His studio is a major employer contributing to our economy and spurring the rapid growth of Georgia's filmmaking industry. The work of his foundation is a reflection of his compassion funding student scholarships, covering grocery bills for the elderly, and supporting global disaster relief, among many other initiatives. Mr. Perry, for all you have contributed to society as a storyteller and an entrepreneur, I offer my deepest thanks, and it is our honor at Emory University to confer on you the Doctor of Letters honoris causa. Congratulations. Now, at this time, I would like to ask Dr. Perry, to deliver the keynote address.
How many of you were at Maggie's last night? I want to say a very, very special thanks to each and every one of you. It's awfully kind. I want to say a special thanks to President Fenves and Chairman Goddard, all the trustees and the administration. I am honored to be here today. It's official. You may call me Dr. Tyler Perry. Yes, a doctorate without a student loan, I'll take it all day long. So thank you, Emory. I've always been awe-inspired by this university and the most incredible people that it has unleashed onto the world stage. Some of them I know and respect, and a few are here today. I won't start calling names because then my whole speech will be about the alumni rather than about this incredible graduating class of 2022. Congratulations. I gotta say, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. You did it. What I'm excited about is this time that you were born into. You were able to get things really quickly because you were born into the time of the internet, a time where everything you need is right there on your phone. If you want food, you press a few buttons and it shows up. If you want directions, you press a few buttons and there it is. If you want information, you press a few buttons and there it is. If you want a date, I'm sure you don't do that here at Emory, but if you did, you could. But it's great. That's why I'm so excited for you. You don't have to wait for anything. It's all right there at your fingertips. It's fast, it's instant, it's right now. But in all honesty, that makes me, it makes me worry for you. Makes me a bit sad for you. Now, before you hashtag and cancel me, let me tell you what I mean. I feel sad for you because you don't know what it's like to have to get into your car, go to a gas station and buy this thing we used to call a map. Yeah, and then go back to your car and try to read it, but it was too big, so you had to get out and put it on the hood of the car so you can figure out the way to get to your grandmother's house. You don't know anything about that. You don't know what it's like to want to watch a movie and have to get in your car and drive to a place that was called Blockbuster. And if you didn't rewind that tape, then they charged you for it. You don't know anything about that. You don't know what it's like to want to listen to some music and have to get into your car and go to a place called a record store and buy an album or a cassette tape. It was this little, never mind. Anyway, you don't know what it's like to put that brand new cassette tape in your car and then pull it out, realize it's jammed and all the tape comes out, and you spend the next hours with your finger trying to wind it back into that case. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, this is how it was. You don't know what it's like to want to look for a business and then have to go get the yellow pages and look through it. That's how we let our fingers do the walking back then. I know you're thinking, Tyler, how old are you? And then you're also saying, man, that was awful. That must have been really, really, really awful. No, it wasn't. I mean, compared to what you have, it was pretty awful. It was pretty awful. But the greatest advantage of having those experiences is that if you wanted anything, it took effort, it took time. You know, I believe that this time that you have grown up in has given some of you, not all of you, but some of you, a false sense of reality. I know you're excited to get out into the world, but as your commencement speaker, I hope that I can help you prepare for what's beyond your college years. And the reality is, success to most does not come quickly. Most dreams do not appear in your life without hard work, struggle, and sacrifice. And I know a lot of you know that. Now, I know that may be hard for some of the others to understand, especially when you see people on the internet who can make so much money all of a sudden, getting millions of views, making crazy amount of money for shaving their knuckles. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people who have built some really impressive businesses online. I'm not knocking them, I'm congratulating them. But I'm saying to you, for some, it takes a while to build a dream. I'm gonna get some water here because I'm getting dry mouth. But stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And I know that it takes a while to build a dream because of my professors. Now, unfortunately, I didn't go to college, but yet I had many professors. These people weren't academias, but what they were professors, like my Aunt May. I remember being a very little boy. I would spend the summers with her in rural Louisiana. In her living room of this rundown house, there was an iron bed, and in that bed lay an old man. He was covered in a quilt that she had made. He was her father. His name was Papa Rod, and he was a freed slave. Early in the morning before the sun would come up, I was very little. My aunt would wake me up. She'd take me out to the fields with her, and she would dig a hole. And as she dug a hole, my job was to drop a seed in each one of those holes. Every day, I would go out there with her, and as we were there all through the summer, I was expecting something to be growing up the next day. And I go out there and I say, nothing yet. And she would say, baby, all we can do is plant. It's gonna take God to give the increase. I never forgot those words. Growing up in New Orleans in a household that was marred by abuse, I couldn't wait to get older to get out of there. I remember being about 19 years old watching the Oprah show, and she said it was cathartic to write things down, and I had to go find a dictionary to see what that word meant because of the school system I was in. So I started writing what would become my first play called I Know I've Been Changed. Around that same time, I was looking for a job on ZipRecruiter, and never mind, it wasn't ZipRecruiter, it was this big black and white thing we call a newspaper. And I saw an ad for a car salesman at a dealership in a little town called Emory, Louisiana. So I got up early that morning like my grandmother had taught me to. I was the first one there to get an application. And as I was filling it out, several other men came in and started filling out applications. None of them looked like me. I sat there and I watched the manager of the dealership come out and choose every man around me to interview until it was my turn. I was the last one still sitting there. Rather than him coming to interview me, I watched him walk over to a salesman who I'm sure had no ability to hire. He gave him my application. Then the manager went into his office, and the salesman came, he approached me. He was looking at me, he's looking at the application. He looks me right in my eyes and he said, you know, you didn't go to college, you didn't finish high school, you don't finish anything. You didn't even finish the application. You don't finish anything. Needless to say, I didn't get that job, and thank God, because something happened right after that would change my life. I had two friends that were in college, and they were living here in Atlanta, and they invited me up to spring break. But for black kids, it was called Freaknik. I'm telling you, that's what we called it. It was the ultimate spring break for black kids. Now, white kids would go to the beach. Black kids in the 90s went to Greenbrier Mall for spring break. I don't know why that is, but that's what we did. But while the other kids were partying and having fun, I was exposed to something that would change my life. For the first time in my life, coming from the poverty of New Orleans, I saw black people doing well. Some of them were graduates from Emory. I was so inspired that I moved here and I made Atlanta my home. Here, I was going to try and build my dream. I got jobs, I saved money. I saved enough money to rent the 14th Street Playhouse to put on my first play. I was expecting 1,200 people to come over the course of the weekend. Only 30 showed up for 6 performances. I was devastated. But out of that 30, there was someone that wanted to invest. It's like my grandmother would say, baby, there's a ram in the bush. That someone wanted to invest, so I tried it again. And guess what happened? Nothing. There was someone else in the next crowd who wanted to invest. We tried it again, and nothing. I tried that play in different parts of the country, and still nothing. For 7 years of trying over and over and over again. Eventually, I would end up homeless here on the streets of Atlanta, sleeping in a car that I was hiding from the repo man. I was suicidal. I wanted to give up. But I felt something that kept calling me, something that kept pushing me forward. For me, that is what I call and believe to be God. Now listen, if you don't want me to talk about God, listen, I don't want to offend anybody, but this is my story, so God's in it, okay? So that's where it is. So if my speech bothers you, I'm sorry, just hush. So there I was, homeless, 7 years of trying to get that same show going. And I decided I was going to give up. That was it. Never going to work. I was going to do what my mother said. She told me to go and get a job at this company called South Central Bell. You know it as AT&T today. She said, Junior, get you a job making you about $300 or $400 a week, get you some benefits, and let that play go. Stop doing that. And it was around that time that I met a promoter named Dr. Primus, who was also one of my professors. He wanted to invest in doing the play one more time, and I finally relented to do it. But I found out that he didn't have the money to pay for the advertising, and yet I was hearing it advertised all over the city. I said, how is that happening? He said, son, I have relationships, and they trust me to pay them when I get the money. We did that show, and it sold out March 12th, 1998, at the Tabernacle. Then went on to the Fox Theater on Peachtree and sold out 2 more shows. My dream had arrived. It showed up when I was about to give up on everything. I often think about where would I be had I walked away at that moment. But in that success, I realized something. All of the people in my life who had said all these things to me, they had told me what I could not be, but no one had told me what I could be. It was right then and there that I decided that I was going to dig in and seize the moment. Whatever was happening, I was going to do it. I went out on tour, and me, myself, on stage, performing hundreds of performances a year. Then I went on to television and movies. Today, I have a catalog of over 2,000 hours of shows. I've done 24 movies, many of them opening #1 at the box office. I own a studio where thousands of people come to work every day. Many of them would have never gotten a shot to be in this business. All of that to say, I know a thing or two about how long it takes to build a dream. I heard a saying once that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I'm sure you've heard that. But I want to challenge that, because if you do what you love, you will work harder than you ever have worked and harder than you could ever imagine. Your dreams will call for that kind of commitment. It took an insane work ethic for me to get here. It took time and commitment and sacrificing. I remember recently maybe I shouldn't say this, but I want to say it. I remember recently giving a job interview to someone who was about your age, and I was telling her what the job requires, and it's 8 hours a day, and you have to commit to it. And she stopped me mid-sentence. She said, I'm sorry, that won't work for me. I said, okay, why not? She said, I only want to work 4 hours a day. I said, where do they do that at? I said, why? Why is that? She said, I have to have work-life balance. But there are 24 hours in a day and you only want to work 4? She said, yes. And she took out a razor and started to shave her knuckles. She's doing very well right now, so don't worry about her. I'm joking, but listen to me. Don't be afraid of hard work. Don't be afraid of the pressure that will come in order for you to see your dreams through. As you leave the safety of these hallowed grounds, I want you to continue to look for professors. I can look at your face right now, you're going, Tyler, I don't want to see another professor as long as I live. But I assure you, professors will be with you all of your life. I'm 52 years old and I'm still meeting professors. And what that means is anyone who comes into your life, anyone who comes to teach you something, to bring value, sometimes these lessons are hard and painful, but yet they are there to make you stronger. So count those people as professors. Like that awful man from the car dealership. He said, you never finish anything. And as awful as that moment was, he was a professor. Because anytime I set out to do anything in the world, I finish it because I remember his voice. He was a professor. Like the promoter I was talking about, Arthur Primus, who taught me the importance of having good relationships, having a good name so people will trust you. When you say it, do it, and they'll give you the opportunities and the credit extended to you because you have a good name. Arthur was a professor. Like my Aunt May, when I was out planting those seeds in the ground and didn't see anything, the next day she was teaching me patience and the understanding that when you plant a seed, you have to wait for that seed to grow. You can't control when it will grow. You can't control the rains or the sunlight. You can't see what's going on under the soil. All you know is that you plant it and one day God will give the increase. My Aunt May was a professor. So as you're planting, as you're starting your life, as you're starting your careers, starting your businesses, remember that it may take a while for you to build your dream. I met an amazing professor a few weeks ago. She's 99 years old. Her name is Lena Darracott King. And I have to tell you about her. And listen, I have done some pretty impressive things. I've sat at the White House on the Truman balcony with former President Barack Obama and Michelle. I've had dinner with Nelson Mandela. But this woman, she impressed me so much. I'm sitting there with her. She's 99 years old. She was a member of the 6th AAA Battalion in World War II. She and 800 other black women went over into the war to clear a backlog of mail that was over 2 years old. Soldiers weren't getting mail from home for 2+ years, and these 800 women went over and cleared that backlog of over 16 million pieces of mail in less than 90 days. She was a professor. She talked about work ethic. If I had given up when my plays weren't working, if I had committed suicide, I would have missed the best part of my life. As bad as it was, and it was really, really dark, as bad as it was, there was a better day waiting for me. If I had given up then, the thousands of people that come to work at Tyler Perry Studios may not have had a chance to see their dreams. Most of them marginalized people. And let me share a bit of poetic justice with you about the land that studio's on, that we come to work on. That land was once a Confederate Army base, and now every kind of race is represented working there. And that land is owned by a descendant of the very people that those soldiers were fighting to keep enslaved. And I want to, yeah. And I want to close by sharing this last one thing with you. I remember being on the beach with my son. He was about 4 years old at the time, and we were walking up the beach. And I'm trying to get to the end of the beach because it's hot, the sun is blaring down, and he's behind me, and he's jumping, and he's falling, and he's jumping. And I'm just like, Lord have mercy, son, please come sit down. I just want to sit down. Here's another tidbit. Black people don't go to the beach for a tan. So maybe that's why we were all going to Greenbrier Mall. I don't know, but anyway, my son was there jumping, and I finally stopped and I turned to him, and he's covered with sand. It's on his face. It's on his legs. I said, what are you doing? And he said something to me that moved me. He said, look, Papa, I'm following in your footsteps. He was jumping to try to keep up with my gait. And I think about that, and it brought tears to my eyes. This beautiful, innocent little creature wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. Listen, I said to him, let me tell you something. Hold my hand, we're gonna walk up the beach together. We walked up the beach, we got to the end of it, and I said, look. He looked back and he saw his footprints and mine. I said, you made your own footsteps, and Papa made his. So today, I want to say to you, this is your life, not your parents', not anyone else's. It's your life to live. So don't be afraid to chart your own course. Don't be afraid to make your own way. Don't be afraid to walk your own path and leave your own footprints. And there are those of you that may be trying to dig in. There's a special few trying to dig in, want to dig in to make your footprints, and nothing is happening. I want you to know that maybe because you're trying to dig into air, because some of you were meant to fly. So with that said, I want you to have an incredible work ethic. Look for your professors and leave your footprints. Congratulations, God bless you, and thank you so much for having me.
Now, I want to give Tyler Perry another round of applause for that inspirational address. And now it's time for the conferral of degrees. Provost Bellamconda, will you once again come forward to present the deans?
President Fenves, the undergraduate deans will present their candidates for degrees in the order in which the schools of the university were founded. The graduate and professional schools will then present their candidates together, also in the order in which the schools were founded. The graduate school will have the pride of place at the end to connote the highest awarded degree in course, the Doctor of Philosophy degree. Before we begin today's conferrals, the degrees awarded to the 2022 graduates of Oxford College of Emory University were awarded 2 days ago in Oxford, Georgia. I ask Oxford College Dean Doug Hicks to please come forward.
President Fenves, I am honored to report that this Saturday, May 7th, Oxford College held its commencement ceremonies and conferred degrees. 454 students received their AA degrees this academic year as a milestone toward their baccalaureate degree. I now ask that all Oxford alumni, graduates from any year, please stand and be recognized as Oxford Emory alumni.
Thank you, Dean Hicks, and we wish you luck. You may be seated. I now call on Dean Michael Elliott to present the Emory College of Arts and Sciences candidates for degree in course. Dean Elliott.
Thank you, Provost Bellamconda. Will the faculty of Emory College of Arts and Sciences please rise, and will the student marshals come forward? President Fenves, I have the distinct honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. Will the candidates please rise? President Fenves, these beautiful candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of Emory College of Arts and Sciences.
Candidates, you are part of a tradition of academic excellence stretching back 186 years. Through your dedication of learning and campus engagement and service to your community, you've added your own story, your own chapter to Emory's history. I hereby confer your baccalaureate degrees with all the appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities that come with them. Congratulations. You may be seated.
I now call upon Dean Vikas Sukhatme to present the School of Medicine's undergraduate degrees for candidates for degrees in course.
Thank you. Will the faculty of the Emory University School of Medicine please rise? And will the student marshals please come forward? President Fenves, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Medical Science. Will the bachelor degree candidates from the School of Medicine please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of the School of Medicine.
Candidates, together you are graduating at a historic moment into a world that has been fundamentally altered by crisis. And through your education and experience at Emory, you have the tools to help. This is a tremendous responsibility, but is also the opportunity of a lifetime. I hereby confer your Bachelor of Medical Sciences degrees with all the appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities that come with them. Congratulations.
I now call on Dean Linda McCauley to present the School of Nursing's undergraduate candidates for degrees in course. Dean McCauley.
Good morning. Will the faculty of the Nell Hudson Woodruff School of Nursing please rise? And will the student marshals please come forward? President Vinvez, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of the Nell Hudson Woodruff School of Nursing.
Candidates, with compassion and empathy, you have committed yourselves to supporting patients and their families amid the most challenging journeys. The importance of your work has made clear throughout this pandemic, and you have courageously chosen to join the nurses of our nation in service. I hereby confer your Bachelor of Science in Nursing degrees with all the appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities that come with them. Congratulations.
I now call on Dean Karen Sedetol to present Goizueta Business School's undergraduate candidates for degree in course. Dean Sedetol.
Will the faculty of the Roberta C. Goizueta Business School please rise? And will the undergraduate student marshal please come forward? President Fenves, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Will the candidates please rise? These amazing candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the Roberta C. Goizueta Business School.
Candidates, you are charged with conducting the world's business with integrity and skill. You are the drivers of innovation, helping to expand the boundaries of what can be achieved in commerce, trade, finance, technology, and more. I hereby confer your Bachelor of Business Administration degrees with all the appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities that come with them. Congratulations. Please be seated.
If Dean Sukhatme, McCauley, Love, Shepard, Sedetol, Curran, and Ariolas could join. We will now confer the graduate and professional degrees together. Will all master's, doctoral degree candidates here with us today from the schools of medicine, nursing, theology, law, business, public health, and the graduate school please rise at this time and remain standing until the conclusion of the conferral of all graduate and professional degrees. Will the graduate student marshals please come forward? And will all graduate and professional school faculty also please rise? Dean Sukhatme, will you present the School of Medicine's candidates for graduate degrees in course?
Thank you, and with great pleasure, President Fenves, I also have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Master of Medical Science, Doctor of Medicine, and Doctor of Physical Therapy. These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the School of Medicine.
Thank you, Dean Sukhatme. As a reminder, graduate students, please remain standing as each school presents their candidates. Dean Macaulay, will you present the School of Nursing's candidates for graduate degrees in course?
Thank you. President Fenves, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Master of Nursing, Master of Science in Nursing, and Doctor of Nursing Practice. These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of the Nell Hodson Woodruff School of Nursing.
Thank you, Dean Macaulay. Dean Jan Love, will you present the Candler School of Theology's candidates for degrees in course?
President Fenves, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Master of Religious Leadership, Master of Religion and Public Life, Master of Theological Studies, Master of Theology, Master of Divinity, Doctor of Ministry, and Doctor of Theology. These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of Candler School of Theology.
Thank you, Dean Love. Vice Dean Joanna Shepard, will you present the School of Law's candidates for degrees in course?
Thank you. President Fenves, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Juridical Science, Doctor of Law, Juris Master, and Master of Laws. These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the School of Law.
Thank you, Dean Shepard. Dean Sedetol, will you present the Goizueta Business School candidates for degrees in course?
President Fenves, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Business Analytics, and Master of Professional Accounting. These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the Roberto C. Goizueta Business School.
Thank you, Dean Sedetol. Dean Jim Curran, will you present the Rollins School of Public Health candidates for degrees in course? Inimical Dean Curran.
Thank you. Thank you, Provost Belaconda. My voice has left me. President Fenves, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Master of Public Health and Master of Science in Public Health. These candidates have successfully completed their course of study during the COVID pandemic, the public health crisis of the century, and are recommended for their degrees by the faculty of the Rollins School of Public Health.
Thank you, Dean Curran. Dean Kimberly Jacob Ariola, will you present the Laney Graduate School candidates for degrees in course?
Thank you very much, Provost Belaconda. President Fenves, I have the distinct honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Development Practice, and Master of Science. These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the James T. Laney School of Graduate Studies. I have the additional honor to present the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and dissertations and are recommended for their degrees by the faculty of the James T. Laney School of Graduate Studies.
Candidates for graduate and professional degrees, through your achievements, service, and expertise, you embody Emory's mission to create, preserve, teach, and apply knowledge in the service of humanity. To the graduate degree candidates from the School of Medicine, shortly you will heal and transform lives, applying the lessons you have learned in your years at Emory. To the degree candidates from the School of Nursing, you will soon be on the front lines, serving all in need with compassionate and patient-centered care. To the candidates from the business school, you are graduating with the skills and understanding to reimagine how business shapes our world. And to the candidates from the School of Theology, you have explored the depths of spirituality and are prepared to provide pastoral leadership and touch hearts and minds with messages of empathy, peace, joy, and hope. To the candidates of the School of Law, your expertise and understanding are fundamental to our nation, and you will be called upon time and again to defend basic principles of rights for the benefit of society. To the candidates of the Rollins School of Public Health, as educators, advocates, and researchers, you will serve communities around the world with compassion and brilliance. To the master's degree candidates from the James T. Laney School of Graduate Studies, through the experiences and training you have received, you are now ready to make extraordinary contributions and to, in fact, define and redefine your fields. And finally, to the PhD candidates from the James T. Laney School of Graduate Studies, you have attained the highest degree awarded in course. Welcome to the honorable company of scholars. To all graduate students and professional students, I hereby confer upon each of you your master's or doctoral degrees with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities that come with them. Congratulations. You may all be seated. It's now official. Let's have one more round of applause for the Emory University class of 2022. Now, please welcome Munir Majani, President of the Emory Alumni Board.
Distinguished graduates, as president of the Emory Alumni Board, I have the privilege of welcoming you formally to the ranks of alumni of this great university. While your cherished status as students may have ended all too quickly, you each will bear the title of alumni for the rest of your lives. Today, you join a dynamic group of alumni, more than 162,000 worldwide. Would everyone in the audience who is a graduate of Emory University, except for today's graduates, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Please be seated. And now, would the entire class of 2022 please stand to be recognized as Emory's newest alumni? Class of 2022, please be seated. We hope that you, like your fellow alumni, will maintain ties to Emory, will help build its future, and will always feel at home here. As your colleagues, we know that the university has imparted values as well as knowledge, and we look forward to witnessing the leadership you provide in your communities of choice. Wherever you go, you will always be a part of the Emory community. And you will take a little of Emory with you as well. As you make your mark in the world, stay in touch, stay involved, visit often, and let us hear from you. We wish you well and congratulations.
Well, thank you, Munir. Now, to the graduates of the Emory class of 2022, enjoy this moment of accomplishment. In the months and years ahead, you will strive to reach new goals. But right now, take a look around this beautiful quad, at your university, at your friends, and at your family. Appreciate this experience. You have reached a milestone in your life. You did this. You made it happen. Savor it, enjoy it, celebrate it. Congratulations, graduates, on all that you have accomplished. Now, as we prepare to conclude the ceremony, we will have benedictions. Please rise if you wish.
There's a saying, well known to many Hindus, that breaks down the components of one's education into 4 parts. A quarter each comes from one's teachers, from one's classmates, from one's own intelligence and hard work, and from time itself. As we leave this campus, though, for new beginnings and experiences, it is my hope that we all remember that the last quarter of our education, like time, is always in progress and never stops. I would now like to offer a Hindu peace blessing. May we, teachers and students, be protected. May we be nourished. May our learning together empower us, and may it shine brightly. Let us not harbor ill will towards one another. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.
For each of us, being here at commencement today feels like an accomplishment for very different reasons. Students, despite the challenges in our classes, our communities, our families, and within ourselves, we have all worked to be better, to prioritize our goals, and to overcome the obstacles in our individual paths. With gratitude for all of the circumstances, the pleasant and the painful, that brought us here today, we turn towards the future. As we go forth into the world, may we gather the courage to share what we have gained here at Emory. As we set our intentions for the future, I invite us to recall the teachings of Shantideva, an Indian Buddhist monk from the 8th century. He writes, "May I be a lamp for those desiring light. May I be a resting place for those who wish to rest, and may I be a servant for all in need of service." As we acknowledge this moment in each of our journeys, let's remember to use the lessons we learned and the ways in which we have grown to alleviate the suffering of others. May we approach this world with love, be a lamp for those desiring light, and wish from our hearts the best for all beings.
In the Jewish tradition, we say the Shehechianu prayer when we have arrived at a moment that we want to mark as truly extraordinary. So I would love to take a moment right now to acknowledge what a miracle it is that we have all made it to this occasion. Despite the craziness and uncertainty of the last few years, we are all here today, standing on the precipice of our futures as Emory graduates. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu, v'kiyamanu, v'higianu, lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of the universe, who has given us life, sustained us, and brought us to this moment.
God of everlasting love and grace, we ask that you watch over all who are graduating today. You have showered us with countless blessings during our time here. All the knowledge to make us wiser, all the friendships to make us kinder. Thank you for allowing us to grow alongside one another, vibrant in our hopes and dreams. When these speeches are over and the applause has all quieted, we will each go our separate ways to carve a path that's all our own. God, may your loving hand guide all these graduates in all their pursuits. Allow us to embody the values that Jesus Christ called for: compassion, justice, tolerance. Class of 2022, the love of God is behind you always. Find joy in all that you are and have faith in what you will become. You are God's pride and joy, and you are all going to do great things. Amen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعى. Congratulations to the class of 2022. We did it.
Please continue to stand for the singing of Emory's alma mater by a special commencement a cappella quintet. At the conclusion of the alma mater, the new graduates and guests of Emory College of Arts and Sciences shall take their seats as the faculty and non-Emory College graduates march to their respective diploma ceremonies. Once the graduates have departed, the gates in the seating aisles will open for those Emory College family members and friends wishing to move to closer seats. Please allow those persons who will be leaving the quadrangle a lane in the aisles to pass by, and wait patiently until the gates are opened before walking slowly to new seats. Thank you. And now Emory's alma mater.
In the heart of dear old Emory, where the sun doth shine, that is where our hearts are turning round old Emory's shrine. We will ever sing thy praises, sons and daughters true. Hail we now our alma mater, hail the gold and blue. Though the years around us gather, crowned with love and cheer, still the memory of old Emory grows to us more dear. We will ever sing thy praises, sons and daughters true. Hail we now our alma mater, hail the gold and blue. We will ever sing thy praises true. Hail we now our alma mater, hail the gold and blue.
Thank you. And now clear the way and let the recessional begin.